That's the sound of a burial. And the burial I'm speaking of is the too big to fail banks. Now, we had somewhat of a mini bloodbath on all markets today. And I would expect, based on this news, that tomorrow should be the same. We have Moody's cuts credit ratings on 15 major banks. You know what? I wonder if we in America, our banking system, will do what the EU has done and said, we don't care about the ratings agency anymore. We don't pay any attention to them anymore. They don't mean anything anymore. I wonder if they'll do that. Because I've already done that to my credit card companies, as I told you a while ago. When I told them to F off, I basically told them, your credit rating against me is null and void. I don't pay attention to it anymore. So, we got here, Moody's Investor Service lowered the credit ratings of 15 of the world's largest bank late Thursday, including Bank of America. Let me guess what the next one is. Where was I again? Oh yeah, J.P. Morgan Chase. And who's that last one? I've never heard of that one. Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, and how do you pronounce that? Goldman Sachs. Oh yeah, okay. Saying their long-term prospects for profitability and growth are shrinking. The ratings agency said it was especially concerned about banks with significant financial markets businesses because those markets have become so volatile. Some of the largest European banks were also downgraded, including Barclays, my favorite overseas banks, two of them, Deutsche Bank and HSBC. The downgrades mean Moody's is more concerned about the ability of the banks to repay their debts. Moody's had said in February that it was considering downgrading the credit ratings of major banks in the U.S. and in Europe. A downgrade usually means that it becomes more costly for banks to raise money by selling debt. Investors demand higher interest for riskier debt, which is what the downgrades represent. However, with interest rates already at rock bottom levels, the downgrades may not affect the cost of funding for the banks that much. Well, when you have a backdoor to the Federal Reserve, I guess you can have a worse than terrible credit score and not worry about it because you got the Federal Reserve printing money for you, and then hands it over to you. So essentially, the banks are the deadbeats who didn't pay their debt. So anyone who gives me crap and other people crap, like Greg, about what we thought in regards to people paying back this fraudulent debt to begin with, why don't you go and protest and call Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, basically all the big banks. Go ahead and do that tomorrow when they open, and tell them who the hell do they think they are? They have to pay those debts. Who do you think you are? You signed a contract, didn't you? You better pay that. Oh, but that's a corporation. Corporations don't count because corporations aren't people. Wait a minute. Corporations aren't people. No, that got changed a little while back. Remember? When all the campaign contributions were flooding in from corporations, and Congress didn't know how to handle that because they weren't allowed to take that much money, including the president, his contribution too. They decided, we'll call corporations people, and now we can take donations from people to a massive level like never before. So on second thoughts, sorry about that. These corporations are people in this case. So call those people, aka corporations, and tell them that they need to pay that debt. After all, these are the ones everyone's in debt to, aren't they? This whole thing it's crumbling. This whole financial system is not going to be around sometime in the near future. I don't know if near future on this means 10 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, or 1 year. But I can assure you, this can only end one day with all debt being wiped out. It's the only way. It's going to happen. When? It's a different story. You'll definitely be alive when it happens. And it's going to happen soon because it has to. The downgrades come at a time of great uncertainty in the global economy. Europe's currency union is under threat from bad bank loans. The U.S. economy is slowing, and the fast-growing emerging economies of India, Brazil, and China are also cooling. Financial markets have also been volatile. On Thursday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged 251 points. Its second worst loss of the year. What? Second worst loss of the year? Weren't they just talking about we had the greatest week in the, since such and such time frame, and the Dow and the markets, we haven't seen a week like that, and, well, I don't even remember what the hell they were trying to compare it to, but it was like this, man, there must be a recovery. There must really be a recovery if this sucker pulled that off. And that was only about a week or two ago. So here we are a week or two later. Second worst loss of the year. What the? So it says, among the banks that were downgraded Thursday, Bank of America's debt was downgraded to BAA2 from BAA1. FYI, that's just a couple of notches above junk status. That's what it says. Just a couple of notches above junk status. That's like 800 credit score, or let's say 500 is junk status. Bank of America is at 501 or 502. Oh, man. Thank God we're 502, man. I was getting a little worried there. I was going to have I was going to be down to 500 credit score, and then I'll be junk status. 502, baby. I'm in there. I made it. Yes. JP Morgan Chase's debt was downgraded to A2 from AA3. Citigroup's to BAA2 from A3. And Goldman Sachs, actually, A3 from A1. So, Barclays, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, they're all there too. This is the financial system. This is the financial system on drugs. Any questions? I mean, really? Recovery. And didn't Obama just say the other day something about the private sector is doing well and doing well? Yeah. Yellow is Obama. Oh, I didn't even get to say nothing. They hung up on me that quick. Damn. Oh, that's right. Never let the truth or realist news get in the way of a good lie. Yeah. Anyways, nothing really else to comment on that turd. I mean, this is done. How soon it's going to really unravel? Big time? Not anyone's guess. But I sure as hell wouldn't have the bulk of my money in any of these institutions.